Hey everybody, another Erev Shabbos is upon us. It is the Parsha of Korach. And as we all know, the rebellion of Korach begins not with Korach, standing up and, taking some men, Das and Aviram and On Ben Pelas, and rising up against Moshe. But it starts a little bit earlier with Korach's wife. We all know the story, how Korach's wife is behind Korach, and she's pushing him. I guess, she feels she wants to be a good wife, and she wants to push him to be better, to be a better husband, to be a better person in the community. So she pushes them and pushes them, and she basically pushes them into taking a stand against Moshe Rabbeinu. Now, yes, we all want our spouse to stand behind us and push us to be better, but there's up to a certain point. You don't necessarily want your spouse to stand behind you and push us towards a cliff, of doom, for which she basically did. She pushed him into rebellion against Moshe Rabbeinu, and everybody knew. Everybody knew that Moshe Rabbeinu is like this with God, and speaks face to face with God, has personal conversations with God, and she didn't stop to think that it wouldn't be such a good idea to go against God's personal representative. And then we were introduced to On Ben Pelas. So it comes the day of the rebellion, and Korach and Datsam and Aviram, they come to pick up On Ben Pelas because he didn't meet them at the meeting place, and On Ben Pelas' wife, she talks some sense into On Ben Pelas. She says to him, "Listen, where are you in this hierarchy of dissenters?" He says, "I'm down here with with these other people, and what are you going to gain? Not much." And he says, "Well, I can't really go. I gave my word. That I would go, stand with them against Moshe." And On Ben Pelas' wife says, first of all, you're an idiot for going along with these guys. And don't worry, I will help you out. So she sits out in front of the tent, and in such a way that it's improper and immodest, that it would be embarrassing for these other men to approach her at the front of the tent, because she wasn't dressed so modestly. So even the ones that were ready to rise up in rebellion against God and Moshe, even they felt that it would be improper to approach the tent where On Ben Pelas' wife wasn't sitting, so properly dressed. So in that way, she knew that they would just move along, and they would spare her husband from having to join their ill-conceived plan, and her husband would be saved. And we learn a very valuable lesson from these two women. We learn a very valuable lesson in that standing up beside your spouse and help propping them up to do what's right, or to do to do what's wrong. It's the spouse Your spouse is your uh, your as we learned back in Parshas Bereshis, your Ezer Kenegdo, your helpmate, your soulmate. And that person is who is going to walk with you in this life to either push you to be greater or chas v'chalila, the opposite. So we have to, in today's day and age, we have to find ourselves a helpmate, a soulmate, a spouse that's going to stand with us to do what's right, to push us to be better, and not push us towards that cliff of doom. Wishing everybody a good Shabbos, and we'll see you on the flip side.